What's up, beautiful people? I welcome you to this channel. It's called Blazing Spells, and it's the third game of the February Pauper Tournament in my local LGS, and I just lost the die roll to my opponent Thomas. He's piloting Junt Wildfire today. I myself am still on Izzet Faeries. So without any further ado, let's dive right into this game. Let's see whether both players will keep their starting hands. Looks bad for myself. I have to take a mulligan. Thomas keeps his starting hand, so let me have a quick shuffle right here. Alrighty, Thomas cuts the deck, and I get to see a fresh 7. Looks better, so I think I'll keep this one, and of course I have to London mulligan one card on the bottom of my deck. Pretty undecisive right here, tough decision, but on the bottom it goes. Alright, let's go. Opponent plays an indestructible bridge, the red and black one, and passes the turn. Draw for turn. Player tapped Volatile Fjord myself and passed the turn to my opponent. Opponent plays one of the landscapes and passes the turn. Untap, draw, play an island for turn and pass it back to my opponent. Opponent's going to fetch in at the end of my turn. Gets himself a basic forest, and which comes of course into play tap, but will get untapped in his turn. Alrighty, here we go. Thomas plays a forest and a good old familiar. So I have to discard a card, and I'm getting a counterspell out. So I don't want this threat on the table. And if I have to discard a card either way, so this is the way I'm choosing it to be. Play another Volatile Fjord, pass the turn to my opponent. And another familiar gets smashed down on the battlefield, so I'll have to discard a lightning bolt this time. Opponent passes the turn to me. I bolt his red, and then it's my turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. Play another snow-covered island, and for 4 mana I hardcast a Ninja of the Deep Hours. Yeah, sad times we're living in, but the second 6 weren't as powerful as they could have been. Okay. Opponent's going to play a Galvanic Blast on my Ninja. No card draw for me. And he passes the turn back to me. Opponent's stuck on 3 mana. I think that's definitely in my favor right now. So I pass the turn back to him. Taps 2 lands and plays a Cleansing Wildfire on his bridge, which is gonna be denied by my counter right there. End of turn, I'm gonna flash in Spellstutter Sprite, just for the attacker's sake, coming right into it with another Ninja of the Deep Hours. So it's 2 damage for my opponent and a good old card draw for me. Tap 1 for a Faeries here, so I may scry 2. One on top, no more decision making to be done, and both on bottom. Alright, let's go. Pass the turn to my opponent. Untap, upkeep, draw. Opponent taps a red one to Galvanic Blast my Ninja, which is going to happen sadly, and he passes the turn back to me. Okay, untap, upkeep, draw. Swing in with the Fairy. And no blocks, so another Ninja of the Deep Hours comes into play. Hits my opponent for 2, draws myself a card. And I'll pass the turn to my opponent. Opponent hopes for a land, finds a land, but it comes into play tapped. Taps 2 mana and wants to cast a Makeshift Munitions. I have to ponder on this one. Definitely not enough Faeries for spell status sprite, so it's going to resolve. Untap. And yeah, draw a card. Play the Faeries here to scry 2. One bottom, one top. And swing in with the Ninja. No blocks, 2 damage to face and a card draw for me. Gonna play the snow-covered island I found with my Ninja and cast a Fairy Miscreant. Pass turn. Opponent untaps, upkeeps, draws, and plays a Writhing Chrysalis. So on cast he gets 2 of those pesky tokens. Opponent passes the turn to me, and I'm going to snap his Chrysalis and draw a card. Swing in with the whole team. Opponent says no blocks. Okay, so he gets 4 damage. I get to draw a card. It's a tough decision not to block the Ninja, in my honest opinion, right here. I'll get to a player of 1 mind for 1 mana, so draw 2 because I have a human and non-human creature in play. And then it's my opponent's turn. Opponent taps 2 mana for an Ichor Wellspring, which is going to be countered by my spell status sprite. No fodder for Deadly Dispute. At least not such a good one. Spell is countered. And opponent taps another 2 mana to cast a Deadly Dispute on 1 of the tokens. So he gets himself a treasure token and a card draw if this one resolves. But I think I'll have to ponder upon this one. Yeah, I'm gonna just hard counter this. And then it's my turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. I'm going to attack with the full team. 5 damage. Opponent once again takes it all. I get to draw a card. Play a snow-covered mountain. Tap for 5 and cast a Lorien Reveal. Draw 3 cards right here. And yeah, that's pretty greedy, I know. Nonetheless, opponent just concedes. I'm not quite sure why he had the Chrysalis, and yeah, bunch of other stuff. Okay, next game. Alright. Opponent chooses to start the game. So we both draw fresh 7 cards. And yeah, let's see. Can we keep those? We both choose to keep. Opponent plays a bridge and passes to me. Play a volatile fjord, tap myself and back to my opponent. Plays one of the landscape and casts Ichor Wellspring. Draws a card and passes the turn. Play a snow-covered island and pass the turn to my opponent. He draws. And plays another landscape. Taps for two colorless. And tries a Lambas. I ponder here for a second. And I'm letting it resolve. He scries, puts it on top, and it seems that he forgets to draw a card out of Lambas, plays the Blood Fountain, which is going to be countered by my spell status Pride. Okay, unfortunate for my opponent. I get to draw a card. Play a snow-covered island and swing in with the Fairy, which is going to get back in my hand because of good old ninjutsu. Moon Circuit Hacker comes in for 2 and draws myself a card. But of course only the time I ninjutsu it, otherwise it will loot. Okay, I'll pass back to my opponent. And yeah, a land for turn, and then once again it's the familiar. And I'll have to discard a Lorien Reveal. Okay, opponent passes the turn back to me. And end of turn I have to, yeah, deal 1 damage to my opponent's creature. Best bang for the buck right here. So I get to untap, upkeep and draw a card. Put a snow-covered island into play. And swing with the ninja. I'll ninjutsu my ninja for a good old Ninja of the Deep Hours. So that's a safe draw, no looting, just drawing cards. That's fine with me. Pass it back to my opponent. Opponent's going to double fetch with his both landscapes. And he found a mountain and a swamp. Okay, opponent untaps, draws for turn. And plays an indestructible bridge, the green and the red one. And passes the turn back to me. End of turn, I'm gonna do the same shenanigan again. Put in a spell stutter sprite. I know it's a bit dangerous. Can get removed. Opponent's got his whole mana up. And yeah, cast into fire. 1 damage on both creatures. So the spell stutter sprite dies sadly. Play another snow-covered island there. I know it doesn't fit the other ones, but sometimes it's just like that. Okay, ninja comes through. I'll get to draw. Play a Fairy Seer right there. Scry the top 2. both on top. Pass to my opponent. So he untaps, upkeeps and draws Forest for turn. Taps 2 and casts another Ickle Wellspring. Do I want to see that card draw? Nah, I'm gonna to deny it with another spell status sprite. Opponent says with that one on the stack he's going to cast the Breath Weapon, which is going to be counter-spelled by me. Okay, he passes the turn. I get to upkeep, draw, and swing in with the team. Opponent declares no blocks, so I'll double Ninja to Moon Circuit's Hacker into play, and yeah, opponent gets down to 8. I get to draw 3 cards. Good life, good life. Okay, play another land. And cast a Fairy Miscreant. Followed by a Fairy Seer. Both cards on top and pass turn. Opponent casts the Familiar once again. So I have to discard a card. And I'm going to discard a Dispel. And end of turn, scratch his creature. Untap, upkeep, draw. It's looking quite good for me. 8 damage on the board. Can my opponent do anything about it? He declares no blocks, so I get to ninjutsu another one in there. Opponent wants to Lambus. Not bad, not bad. Gets his free life. And yeah, 9 damage. So he's down to 2. I get to draw 2 cards and loot 2 cards. Lightning Bolt would seal the deal right here. Discard the Dispel. And yeah, pass to my opponent. And GG's. That's it. Thanks for watching.